Hello. Today we're going to talk about putting mulch on your plant beds or in your containers. So, what is mulch? Why and when do we use it? And when don't we use it? Well, mulch very simply is a covering of bare soil. It can be anything from pebbles and gravel, decorative stones. It can be geotextiles. It can be cardboard, it can be straw, as I have here, it can be hay, it can be chippings of wood bark, wood chippings in general, it can come from coconuts, etc, etc, etc. So it's basically a covering that goes on bare soil. Now, why do we want to cover bare soil with this mulch? Well, there are a few reasons. The first thing is, as today, it's very, very sunny and hot today, and bare soil will dry out very quickly. If you water it, the water will evaporate very, very fast. So if we put a covering on here, this will slow down the evaporation and keep the soil moist. Two advantages there. Means we have to water much less often, and if you have to do a lot of watering, that's a real advantage. And the second thing is we actually use less water, so we're conserving water too. In the winter, it has the same idea of protection, but in this case it protects the soil from frosts and so on. And the other big important point, which is usually the main reason why people use mulch, is it stops the sunlight reaching the soil. And if you have weed seeds in the soil, they will not germinate and grow, or certainly not be able to grow enough to penetrate the mulch and maybe take over your vegetable garden, your flower garden, or maybe even a container like this. So those are the advantages of mulch. So let's just see how it's applied. Here I have a small container with 2 melons in it. I have lots of soil and manure and so on in here. These are plants which are about, I would say 4 or 5 inches high, 10-15 centimeters. So what we can do is take our mulch, in this case straw, and just simply cover the surface like this. This is actually fresh straw that I got from the farmer who's currently, he just has harvested his wheat in the field opposite. Again, the thickness of this can vary. Some people go up to 20 centimeters, which is at least 8 inches. I normally keep it to about 4 or 5 inches maximum, and here, just for demonstration purposes, I'm keeping it fairly simple. So there we've kind of surrounded our plants, allowing the leaves the sunlight they need, but all the rest of the soil is covered, so it will retain, certainly in the summer, moisture, keep it nice and warm in the winter, and also suppress any weeds. Now, where can't we use it? Here I have an example in this other container. Here I have some extremely small seedlings from chilies, and I'll bring them closer to the camera. Maybe you can see them there. very, very small. Now, if I put mulch on these seedlings, as the mulch does with weeds, it will deny them of sunlight and they won't be able to grow. They'll actually die because they haven't got the sunlight they need to grow. So this is a scenario where we don't use mulch, not on certainly small seeds. Certain bigger seeds can sometimes push through a mulch of about 4 inches, of about 10 centimetres. I'm thinking of things like beans and peas, which are very, very big seeds, and they've got a lot of energy, enough to push through to find the sunlight. And of course, things like seed potatoes and even onion sets can do so too. But in general, if you have small seeds, like here with these chilies, you don't want to put a mulch. What you can do is you can fill the container with mulch first, and then when you put the seeds in, separate the mulch and leave areas bare where you actually put the seeds. But if you're using something like straw or hay or even wood chips, if you're living in a windy area, that's probably still not a good idea, because actually the wind will then cover up these bare areas you've left for the seeds, and again your seeds will be smothered. So, as I said, in general, when your plants are established here, or if they're extremely big seeds, then you can put the mulch. Now, I'd just like to mention one or two extra things when we're thinking about mulch. Now, a few things to be aware of are the following. First thing is mulch, because it tends to occlude the light and provide a nice moist environment, tends to be very, very popular with things like slugs and snails. So keep that in mind if you're mulching anywhere. The other thing is, if you have what I call an organic mulch, something which is from plant material such as hay, dead leaves, straw, even wood chippings, that can also attract things like rodents. Certain rodents like to make little nests in it, and I've even seen people having a few problems with termites with things such as wood chippings. Now, there is a little advantage if you're using a mulch that's made out of plant material such as straw, leaves, general garden debris, etc., etc., is it'll actually start to break down. When it's on the soil, it will start to break down. So it'll have all the benefits that we've talked about, but also as it breaks down, it will turn into a form of compost or fertilizer. So it will actually help to fertilize the soil on your vegetable garden or in your flower bed, or, as we saw earlier, in your container. So there are a few things to think about when using mulch, when to use it and when not to use it. But the best thing to do is practice with it, and as with everything, practice makes perfect.